Hi friends, very important parameter to understand is interest rates and whether it is negotiable or non-negotiable. Now, let's look at the various service providers. Say for example banks. Most of them have a fixed non-negotiable service rate, which means that they have something called the MCLR base rate plus a premium minus the discount. Now, they are variable, or the rate is variable, which means it can change over the tenure of the loan, but every student gets the same rate. Now, this is a very important key point, and so you have a fixed kind of an interest payment when you look at, say, the service nationalized banks, the SBI, the BBOBs, or say PNBs of the world. This case is not same when you look at, say, NBFCs. NBFCs do have a negotiable kind of a rate. It could range from, say, anywhere between 11% to 12, 13 or 14%. It depends on your profile, it depends on your guarantor's profile, and it depends on the collateral being offered. So based on that, they take a call on what is the interest rate which they are going to charge you. This is negotiated at the time you take the loan. Whatever is fixed is variable, which means that it varies with the base lending rate, which can fluctuate on a month-to-month basis. But in terms of the interest spread between their base lending rate remains the same. Even in case of international funds like Empower and Prodigy. Now, here in case Prodigy has a variable rate, which means that every student who applies to a particular university gets a different rate based on his profile. Empower has a fixed rate wherein they look at say at 10.5, 11 or 11.99, whatever be the rate which they have applied to you, it is a fixed rate. US loans or US banks, for example, also do have a fixed and a variable concept. So you can have a fixed rate of interest, which means that you get charged that fixed rate across. And you have a variable rate of interest, which gets again charged on MCLR, or in their case, this is called LIBOR, which is London Interbank Offer Rate. Now, this particular amount is variable and fluctuates at the time of the visa approval and the tenure herewith. So it's complex to understand what exactly interest rate is, and to actually pinpoint, if you ask me that if I am able to pinpoint right now what is the actual amount of interest which I'm going to pay on my loan which I take across the next 5 or 10 year period, I would say most of us will go wrong because there are so many variables involved. However, in order to first look at it, is the first point which you should consider is obviously which is the most economical. So 11.5 is definitely better than 12 or 12.5. Another thing to consider is what is the base rate of the service providers, and hence that does not increase or decrease too much. I guess these two are the parameters which you have to consider while deciding your interest rates and taking it forward. In case of any doubts, you can always reach us at EduLoans and we'll be happy to guide you.